Well, hello again. You've once again tuned in to The Numismatist, and here I am to discuss the infamous 1943 steel penny and collecting of such. Okay, 1943. World War II was raging, as we all know, and there was obviously a short of every material in the country because we were just pumping it into this vast war machine. And copper being one of those elements that we had an abundance of in the United States, but we still needed to use a tremendous amount of it for just about everything from shell casings to wiring in aircraft and naval ships, blah, blah, blah. Okay, the United States Mint decided to do their thing by attempting to come up with different compositions of coinage, particularly for the penny, and the most produced coin that we made and still make. And they tried all kinds of things. They tried plastic. They tried they actually thought about making wood pennies, right up there with wooden nickels. One of the elements that we had, or metals that we had in abundance that we could spare, was steel. So they came up with the steel penny. Hello. It was a zinc-coated steel penny because, of course, the steel they were using was not stainless steel, which would be incredibly expensive, but it was just basic steel, and it would rust like every other type of ferrous compound. And to prevent that, they zinc coated it. Okay. I recently have watched several videos where people have discussed the zinc penny, and they feel as though they were ripped off because they bought steel pennies and they thought that they were fakes and what have you. And in the videos, I understand from their description, they didn't quite know how that penny was made. Well, it was very simple. The flechettes were made out of steel. A low-grade steel, basically, because it was a penny. They expected it to last maybe 10 years at best. And then they electroplated the penny with zinc. And that's how they get zinc onto it. I mean, you don't wash it on. You sure as hell don't put it on before you stamp the penny, because it's just going to peel off and bubble off and flake off. So once the penny was made, then they electroplated it. And one of the videos I watched, the gentleman was discussing the fact that there was no cartwheeling. Well, if you had a steel penny that was punched out before plating, yes, you would have cartwheeling, because of the way the metal is stretched, expanded, and compressed. But when you plate it, you're not going to get the cartwheeling, and what you will get is a uniform coating of zinc across it. Now, it makes it very difficult to determine whether the original penny was originally plated or replated. And this video, I'm going to throw some examples up there of things that have been replated. They're easy to pick up and simple to look for. So let's get on with it, and in my typical fashion, I'll just throw up some microscope camera shots of certain things, of pennies that you just get out of circulation and pennies that have been replated. And you would be very fortunate to come across a non-corroded or almost pristine 1943 zinc-plated penny that you can literally call mint state. So we're not going to discuss those because nobody really has those. Well, they do have them, I have them, but that's not the gist of this. So just hang in there and watch this video and comment if you will. Okay, let's start by looking at a circulated or well-circulated 1943 steel that came from the Philadelphia Mint. And these are this is the type of condition that you would expect to see these things if you found one in circulation. And you notice that the zinc coating is very well corroded, obscuring a lot of the features. These coins were not well struck, but they were functional for the time. And this is pretty much what you will get in circulation. This is the obverse. Now this is the reverse. And you can see again very corroded. You can still make out a lot of the pertinent features. The E pluribus unum is kind of obscured. I mean, it's just because of the way the light settles on it. But you can see that this penny was still in good condition, just very corroded. Let's take a look at a replated coin. This is a 1943 replated into somebody with the untrained eye. You would not really be able to pick it out until you flipped it over, and what becomes obvious is a gash right in the middle of the coin. This obviously was there before the plating, because it didn't dig through the plating, and it's clear when you magnify it up even greater that the gash was plated over, clearly indicating that this is a replate. This particular coin, somebody tried to hawk this off as an MS-60, basically as an original. Now this is an example of an original zinc penny that's in pretty clean condition. You'll notice that this has flow lines on it. That's a real good indication that they didn't replate it, because when you replate a coin, you really cannot reproduce those flow lines. Those flow lines are from the original pressing, where the metal has actually flowed during the pressing. This is a shot of the reverse. The features are distinct, crisp, and clear, and everything is pretty much defined. And when you replate, a lot of these sharp edges and these defined edges are just blended in, mainly because they don't control the replating nicely. Alrighty then, so now we've pretty much covered the replated and what a non-replated zinc penny looks like. Replating the coating, basically that was a process that they immediately started doing after the war. Within a few years, the pennies started to corrode, and a lot of coin sellers would strip off the original zinc coating, which is only about 5/1000ths of an inch thick, and then replate the coin. These coins really don't have any numismatic value, although the original coins did have some substantial numismatic value. But nonetheless, they're still good to look at, and they still should be part of your collection, and they're just naturally a part of history. So that's my spiel on plated or replated zinc pennies or steel pennies, and don't feel like you got ripped off if you happen to acquire one. Although if you paid more than $1 for it, you did get ripped off. So we'll let that one go, and just stay tuned for some more disgustingly boring videos from the numismatist. Thanks for watching.